Hello, everybody. I am Hadar Malik, and we are live on the Graphy India page. I've not really streamed too much on YouTube, and I think Mera 2020 ka resolution is that I'm going to be streaming a lot more, and this is a very big step in the right direction because I get to. Why I love my job is because I get to talk to incredible people and actually have like awesome conversation. My entire podcast, everybody who watches the podcast, the internet said so. Thank you so much. It's just us educating ourselves and having fun about things that we find on the internet. And today I'm here talking about Graphy because everything has shifted online, and Graphy is actually a fantastic app right now that I've come across. And it's by an academy, and everything is vertical, which is the best part about it. And there are so many experts and people who are at the peak in their fields talking about their vocation and how they kind of decided to make their work, which was kind of unorthodox in a way, and actually become successful at the jobs that they do. So I'm going to be bringing on my guest for today. And I'm really excited about this because he's a performing artist, and I really get excited about talking to performing artists who do stuff that is very different compared to what I do. So please, like I don't know how we do this. Get excited. Put your hands together for Satyajit Ramdas Padhye. Hi,
Yes.
Satyajit.
Yeah. Hi. Hi. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. Other hi. I'm also a big fan of your work, and I keep on watching your YouTube and your work online. And uh, since ventriloquism is a kind of a stand-up form,
Yeah.
so I understand that how difficult it is to do stand-up. So I salute all the stand-up comedians. They are really great. Because we know how difficult it is to get all the lines and write the script. It's
Yeah.
same.
And I think people keep assuming that हाँ मतलब stage पे चढ़ के कुछ कर दो. It's like no, that's not how
It's
this
not the
works.
case. Yeah.
It's a lot of walking around in your house with a piece of paper and canceling words that don't work, or like each
Exactly.
little thing
Exactly.
is just so carefully placed. Like some things don't sound right, a word particularly doesn't sound right, and like people kind of assume that that's the case. But okay, let's just start off with you did another session today, and I'm just putting out a reminder at 12 o'clock. Satyajit had already recorded a session on this YouTube channel at 12, which was an introduction to ventriloquism. And today we're going to be doing
Yes.
this whole set that Satyajit is running called Talk to the Hand. And it's this series that Satyajit is going to be educating people about the Graphy app and how people can actually yeah. So today's session was on Graphy, and now I'm going to let Satyajit take it over, and I'm going to ask you. We're going to get to your job first, and like first, I just want to understand like how did you get into ventriloquism? Like I don't even want to touch the puppetry right now. Let's just go
Correct.
like slowly. Okay, so
Correct.
here we
Correct.
go.
So, my grandfather, Professor Y.K. Padhye, Yashwant Keshav Padhye, he started ventriloquism in India in the year 1916 and 1917. So it's long, long back. And let me
Whoa,
tell
huh?
you about his background. He was a magician. He was a magician, and he was a
Right.
contemporary of P.C. Sarkar and K. So once, there was a soldier from the long time back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was, entertainment industry. I mean, the live industry was not there during that time. There were only films, and, there were
Hmm.
small shows during Ganpati and Navratri. So there was a soldier from the First World War. He was doing ventriloquism. So he thought, I should, learn this art because it is close to magic. So he got some books from England, and he made his own wooden mask, and he started doing ventriloquism, and he thought, no, I should bring a puppet. So he got a puppet from England, and Devonport was the company. Actually, that company has closed down. It's a old company which used to make ventriloquist figures and magic props. So he got the puppet from England, and he named that puppet Ardhavat Rao, or Mr. Crazy, or Guppy Das. So that puppet, actually, now we still have that puppet. And my
Oh wow.
father, Mr. Yes, it's a very antique puppet. My father, Ramdas Padhye, is very popular in India and abroad with that particular puppet, Ardhavat Rao. And on Doordarshan, my father has performed innumerable shows with that puppet. So that puppet is now 103 years old. So like my father learned from his father, and I learned from my father. So it's a legacy of my grandfather that I'm carrying ahead.
This is like on another level of because it's people don't really understand how much work it takes to like right now, like there's so many debates going on about that, like getting into your family business, especially in the performing
Nepotism.
arts, the nepotism debate that is happening. But you like sometimes it's just I actually had a conversation with a very a self-made actor once, and and I respect him so much because I work with him on a daily basis, and he's like especially in things with music, like I'm technically your third generation, I'm technically third generation. That's what it is. I have We've done this all our lives, and this is all I've known. And there are certain things that you just can't be born into. There are certain things that just require that 4 hours a day of practice, and it
Exactly.
just, you cannot let it go. Like right now, under this desk that I'm talking to you, I've got an entire piano because I just have to have it at my main working desk, and it has to be operating all the time so that I can just rehearse
Correct.
as much time as I can. So, and also with ventriloquism and and using the dummy. And do you call it the dummy? How would you
Uh,
like?
uh, Initially, I mean, since the puppets were wooden dummy, so they were called ventriloquist dummies. Now you can call it a puppet because when ventriloquism started, there was wood. Wood was the material. So the
Huh.
ventriloquist dummies were made of wood. Now slowly, paper mache came. Then there is foam. Then there is foam latex. Now the more different materials. So like
Okay,
puppet
so now I saw a video of yours where you actually did an entire, so you laser printed, not laser printed, sorry,
3D
uh,
printed.
you 3D printed an actor, and I'm going to let you say who the actor was and what the movie
Okay.
was. But it's
Okay.
really cool that it's coming to the fore, and this is an art form because I've done some of it on stage where we used to use our hand, and we had a glove with holes in it, and we were doing very experimental theater at the time. And it would be like I would color my palm black, and when I would wear the pink glove with holes in it, it would look like the eyes and a smile. So
Correct.
it was very simple that we were trying to get
Correct.
like
Correct.
happiness come
Correct.
out,
Correct.
like, and doing like that kind of stuff. So so there's so many different ways of expressing, and now it's reached, you've actually like meshed 3D printing. So what was this project that, and I'm going to let you take it over, like what
Yes.
was this project?
So recently, you must have all seen the movie called Ludo, which was directed by Mr. Anurag Basu. So obviously, he was aware of my father's work, and also he was aware of my work because I had, on one reality show, I had met him and I had trained one small participant for a small act of ventriloquism. So when
Huh.
he came to me and he said that, I'm doing a film where Aditya Roy Kapoor plays a stand-up comedian, a voiceover artist, and he's a ventriloquist. He has
Right.
a knack of giving voiceovers. So one aspect is he's also a ventriloquist. He's a multi-talented guy.
Yeah.
So there is a club scene where he performs with a puppet, and it's a look-alike puppet of Aditya Roy Kapoor. So initially,
uh,
we have done a lot of celebrity puppets of other celebrities, but they were done using traditional methods. Like there is a sculpting that happens first. Then we put a plaster of Paris mold, then we take a cast out of it, and then we make a puppet. But
yeah.
now there are certain actors or certain faces which are very plain. You can't really. It is very difficult to do a sculpting of that. So I thought let us try 3D printing because I was researching into it. So we 3D scanned Aditya Roy Kapoor, then we 3D printed the puppet. We took a cast out of foam latex so that we could get exactly the same like Aditya. So there are certain features like nose and the hair which come exactly in 3D printing. So like
Right.
it was, I'm really proud to say that this was India's first 3D printed celebrity puppet.
Right. This is
And
like
besides,
next level
and one more
achievement.
thing, and besides
Huh.
that, he was supposed to play a ventriloquist. So Mr. Anurag Basu told me that you work with him, you train him for your style of ventriloquist. You train him for a role of a ventriloquist. He doesn't have to do
Right.
ventriloquism. So when we sat with Aditya, I sat with Aditya, like, so he was a very cool actor. He said, no, I'm going to learn the art because the scene in the films are, I mean, less. I mean, it doesn't have to learn because it can be cheated. Like I can, sit down and operate the puppet. But he said, I want to learn the art. And like
Yeah.
we took 10 to 15 sessions and he really learned the art.
But it really shows. I really enjoyed that movie when it came out because it was just like, ek to, there's so much because of the lockdown. Everybody's on the screen, like everybody's watching Netflix, and this is where it
Correct.
came out. And
Correct.
the idea that forms like this are getting absolute center stage,
Yeah,
uh,
exactly.
and because now there is no theater, there's no movie theaters, and it's just I would love for that to like become like it's become mainstream, and like these are things that was considered experimental when I was doing theater. I think when you're doing trying to do like stuff like that, and it's like, oh, it's very experimental, and now it's like, okay, now you've seen it in a mainstream movie, now it's like, oh good, this is something that is possibly like everybody is
Yes.
aware of.
So I'm like, now I'm in a learning mode. I'm in a teaching mode. So like
Huh.
graphy has come at a very right point in my career, I can say. So that I'm like full time into teaching. So last year it was in February 2019, and in
Huh.
February 2020 the shoot got over. So we
Right.
were like in a learning stage. So like graphy, I'm really thoroughly enjoying the experience of teaching the art. And I would like to really proudly say that this is the first time in India, or first app, or first thing which is being recorded and learning about that. So Graphy India
Right.
is the first. I'm really proud to say that, actually. So I'm really happy that the newer generations will be able to learn the art and maybe learn the art. That is the best thing. I mean, I'm really
So
thankful to Graphy about that.
I had one thing, and that's what's fantastic about because you are learning online. You're watching things online. You're getting entertained online, and now you're learning. Like it's a serious thing for a child now to be online and learning. Everybody suddenly woken up to the fact that this is a very serious platform, the internet, to learn things that are not which is not available to you now. And you can have very specific and very chiseled learning, as far as like you're talking about somebody like Satyajit, guys, and you will not get to have a one-on-one session with him, but you are probably going to be able to learn from him directly on this app. So that's actually very fantastic. I think it's fantastic that you get to you get to reach this kind of an audience, which is fantastic. You're not curtailed by any boundaries. You're not teaching anybody just in India. You're not. It's everywhere, and
Exactly,
anybody can get it.
exactly.
So there's this one question that we've got on the YouTube chat. This is from Zishan. Satyajit sir, can you tell us how long did it take Aditya Roy Kapoor to learn ventriloquism?
Well, it took him around 10-15 days to produce the voice.
Yeah.
So if now I'm conducting the sessions on Graphy. So if everyone like really, what is important is ventriloquism needs a lot of practice. It's like a classical riyaz, classical
Hmm.
singing. It gets better and better and better and better if you practice a lot, because you need to strengthen your vocal cords. It's an abnormal voice.
Yeah.
Hello, hi, how are you? Yeah, yeah, hi, hello, hi. So it's a
Yeah.
lot of abnormal voice. So it took around 10-15 days for him to produce the voice. But what I recommend is that when you do it on a daily basis, then you write a script, and doing a professional performance takes time, maybe a 6 months or a year's time. But yes,
Yeah.
definitely you can learn the art. And I think on Graphy, the sessions that I'm conducting, they are very thorough, and every aspect of ventriloquism art is covered. So I think anyone who joins the Graphy app can definitely learn the art. That is my guarantee. At least 25 days if he spends, he's definitely going to learn the art. Definitely. One
So
month,
you know what?
definitely.
Since we've mentioned it, why not just like so, guys? Can we just share the screen and show the people who are watching right now? Like you can just log into the link that we've put down. Right? Yeah, you can just log into the link, and you will be, yeah, there's the link right there in the description, and you can just go there and you can register for the app, and it's very very simple. It just opens up on this page, and this is the session that Satyajit is conducting, which is talk to the hand, and there he is with all his puppeting glory. Oh damn, this is awesome. And it's what's cool is the number of characters that you have to come up with, and you're trying to do it
Yes.
not with just one falsetto. It's just there's so much more that you
Different
have to play.
characters. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So okay, so now if you like move down, you can just subscribe and you can just start watching the live stream that is going to be conducted, which is tomorrow at 6 p.m. There's another live stream that Satyajit is going to be doing on YouTube. And if you were to go down right now, so here's the literature on Graphy, why you should subscribe, and here are the other professionals who are teaching you stuff that you would not normally get elsewhere. So that's why I think, and it's all vertical, which is a big change compared to how we are used to watching content. So tomorrow it's going to be on the Graphy app, guys. So it's going to be right here. So if you guys want to go on the live stream tomorrow, you guys have to come and register right up top. जहाँ पे लिखा हुआ था, yeah, here we go. Subscribe and start watching, and you can register for tomorrow 6 p.m. And it's going to be epic. So one thing I want to ask is how did you rate Aditya Kapoor's voice? The voice that you helped him come up with. How did you rate that voice?
Yeah, I can rate it around at on a scale of 1 to 10, around 8, definitely.
Oh, damn.
So
Okay.
yes, yes, he
Wow.
was
Wow. Wow.
above
Wow.
5. Definitely, he was above 5 because he was very keen to learn the art, and we had
Hmm.
a great time. He was learning, and I think what I feel is that when you teach someone, you also get to learn so many things, because
Hmm.
how you teach is also very, very important. He should be able to learn. So I think
Correct.
in a process you are also learning, and I think on Graphy now, like how to conduct 5 live sessions, 1 hour sessions, I'm also learning. So
Oh, but
it's
and by the
it's
way,
fun.
yeah, it's free right now for the first 7 days. So you can just like
Yes.
sign in and you can get like your 7 day and you can try it out. That's what I like really like, is that you can try something out before and get used to it. Like the number of apps that I've been learning, and I've been doing a lot of learning based apps, and Graphy is one of the cool ones because it's got people like Satyajit, people like Vishwanathan Anand, Harsha Bogle,
Yeah.
Sehwag is on, and just talking about their vocations and their jobs and how they ended up getting there, and those little nitbits that you would not normally get from any other like
Exactly.
just reading somewhere. Like it's something that you actually hear from the person who's lived it. So, and I just wanted to ask you, like with the family, like this amount of family involved, like for my family, my grandfather was not really well to do, and it was very tough for that, that initial bit when you are in the performing arts, and how tough it is for your family to. People don't realize. I feel really blessed because I never had to want for anything. I had a good education. All I had to do was stick to my art form. I didn't have to worry about, a lot of things that something that our father or our grandfathers would have had to worry about. In case of your grandfather, it's just getting independence from the Brits. So it was a lot of stuff going on at that time. So like if you could share something about like stories about your grandfather at that point of time, which is not exactly related to this, and like in spite of that, he was managing to do this
Yes.
it's a performing art and stuff.
I can tell you about my grandfather. Like he started because entertainment industry was at its infancy, and that time you will be surprised he did not used to charge for his performances. So it was
Exactly.
because uh, it will be you will be surprised to hear that कि हमारी कला बेचनी नहीं चाहिए. That was the thought process he had during that time. So
Yeah.
he said, no, don't give me money for that. You give me some gift or something. I will not charge money, because it was his passion. He used to, because he said that it's an art. I want to spread the art. So that was his during that time. And of course, that is a very old thought process. Now it's more commercial. But when my
Yeah.
father started, the word ventriloquism was not known. And he started in 1967, and let me tell you, he's into 53rd year of his career, my father,
Whoa.
and
Okay.
he has performed around 9,900 plus shows across television, films, ad films, stage shows. And he has performed with Kishore in the Kishore Kumar Night, Tabassum Hit Parade, Kalyanji, all the 70s and 80s shows. With of course with Johnny Lever and many, 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 many people.
How was so as when you were growing up as a kid, like when you saw your father on stage and you saw the because I understand like it would get a little it would be like you have to live up to so much. Like, what was the scary point here? Like, how much did that play into your practice, and like how much effort
Oh,
did you put in?
see, I remember I performed my first show when I was around 10, 12, 14 years of age.
Huh.
I started when I was 10, learning the art, and my father, told me one thing, that you learn the art, you start, don't ignore that how much money you are getting, you just keep on performing. So in my initial days of my career, I perform all small birthday party shows. I used to go to people's house, and I used to perform. So I think that is very important. Today's artists, I think they just want instant success. So I think all the groundwork is very necessary. You just have to perform, just have to perform. So like I performed around 2000, 3000 plus shows, I can say. And the
It's just,
most
tell
yeah,
me.
and the most important thing is that I learned more through observation. I used to sit in the wings, and I used to observe my father. So somewhere, yes, there is a pressure that you have to you know keep that his name. And so like I was in the shadows of my father, at some point of time. But after India's got talent, I got my own identity, like.
Okay,
But
and when were you there on India's Got Talent? What year
around
was this?
2009, in 2009, the first season of India's Got Talent.
Oh,
So I
oh
was,
yes, I remember this. Yeah, 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 I remember this. And so how did it give you that access to a more mainstream audience being on that
of course,
channel? Like, what kind of a jhatka was it?
it was pan India. I mean, suddenly people
Yeah.
started recognizing you, But before, let me tell you that before India's Got Talent, around 10 years, not even 10 years, like more than 15 years, I've been doing this art. So
Yeah.
like I was already prepared on India's Got Talent. It was not like
Mhm.
I was not scared to face thousands of people, because initially I had performed many shows. So like that is what is important. So you just keep on performing. That is
Okay, so
the
speaking
key.
of performing, we've had a long discussion about a lot of things, but
Yeah,
of course, we're talking about ventriloquism and we're talking to Satyajit. Then how can we
yeah,
not? How can I
yeah.
not force you? How can I not ask you to? Is there a friend that you can introduce to us, and you can actually
Yes,
show
yes,
us
yes. The
firsthand? You can
friend,
like,
yes, yeah, the friend is already here.
Actually, I'm already here. I was sipping a cup of coffee and listening to your YouTube live. Yeah, आदर मैं आपका बहुत ही आदर करता हूँ क्योंकि आपका शो मैं YouTube पे देखता हूँ और काफी सारे स्टैंड अप शोज आपके देखता हूँ. Yeah, and by the way, Adar, if you want to learn art of ventriloquism, I'm going to teach in just 2 minutes.
yes, okay.
Chotu
How do
Singh,
we do this?
Just put the mask.
Huh?
Just put the mask.
How is it going to be? Okay.
Just put the mask and do ventriloquism. Yeah, you can
This
speak
is
without moving your lips. You can do ventriloquism.
boom. I think we
Yeah,
figured out. We figured it out. And
yeah.
okay, we've not introduced ourselves. What's your name, sir?
My name is Chotu Singh. Galle galle, galle galle, galle galle.
So with Chotu Singh, actually, I performed on India's Got Talent. So he's my favorite character,
Huh.
and I have designed the puppet Chotu Singh, actually.
And
So
like, okay,
besides, yeah, yeah,
हाँ. One thing I want to ask is like ऐसे हम बात तो कर सकते हैं लेकिन ये सब निकल रहा है and you don't really realize कि क्या हो रहा है. But the m and the fuzz, like what is that?
yes,
Like if we can give
I
like
will,
some छोटा सा
I will
teaching here.
explain to you. Yes,
हाँ.
मैं आपको सिखाने वाला हूँ आदर जी.
Sikhav,
हाँ.
Sikhav. So there are certain words, letters like B, F, P, which you cannot speak without moving your lips, because they are explosives.
Yeah.
So what a ventriloquist does, it does sound substitution. So if you have to say bat and ball,
Right.
so you have to say,
Hat and hall, hat and hall, hat and hall.
so bat and wall.
Right.
So you have to say police.
Police, 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 police.
You have to say police. You have to think B but speak Were. Think
Yeah,
P but
right.
speak K. So
Huh.
that mental setup you need, that takes time. You see.
Yeah, because in the middle you're talking like as yourself, and it's very easy to for that to get leaked into each other. Like you'll end up saying Kolis, and like while you're talking, while Satyajit is talking, you end up saying something. So that yeah, no
Yes.
wonder it's so
And
that's the
another
hmm.
that's the key. And another very challenging thing about ventriloquism is that I have a specific expression. Hey, Chotu Singh.
ए क्या कर रहे हो यार?
Hey, chup बैठो. So he
Right.
has to speak a funny line, and I have to maintain my expression. So
Yeah,
that two things you have to manage. So his expression is suppose a very comic way, and I'm angry at him. So I have to maintain that expression of mine, react to him, and speak his line. So that is a
correct.
very challenging thing.
And like I wanted to ask one big thing is because now YouTube has become so big, and the fact that artists, it's this, we keep talking about it as stand-up comedians. It's democratized performing arts. It's democratized the artist. Like anybody can come and become huge from anywhere.
Correct.
And do you feel like you would want to actually attack the stand-up genre in the way that I am part of it? Like maybe like upload stand-up video and just do like a stand-up comedy channel, like specifically like the first person that comes to mind, and we were talking about this before we started the interview also,
Yes.
is Jeff Dunham.
Jeff Dunham.
And
Yeah.
he has Ahmed. He has the old man, that really old angry man that he
Walter.
does,
Walter.
Walter. And it's just
Peanut.
like, and Peanut. So it's just all these things. And Peanut is absolutely bonkers, so different from those two. Those are two very human characters, and Peanut is
Whee!
just this weirdo.
Okay.
So what do you think, like, as far as that is concerned, have you ever given that a thought where you do a separate YouTube channel where you perform shows and just do the
Yes.
recordings
Yes.
like
I would.
stand-up bits and put them out?
Correct.
Hmm.
Actually, see, as a ventriloquism is a form of stand-up comedy. So like
Yes.
I would like to tell you that ventriloquism, why Jeff Dunham became very huge, because ventriloquism was performed in a question answer format. A ventriloquist asks a question, and a witty answer
Right.
is given by a puppet. So that format somewhere he broke, and he
Yeah.
brought a stand-up style format into ventriloquism. So that is the
Hmm.
reason he's successful. And I'm also trying to do that actually, because I do a
Huh.
lot of corporate events and wedding shows. And
Exactly. I would
I
assume that
do
you
I
have
do
your sets,
actually.
like hours and hours of sets that you
Yeah.
have
So I
ready.
mean, I'm inspired by all of you guys actually, and I have certain stand-up bits that I do. In fact, I performed at Canvas Laugh Club and the Habitat.
Huh.
Not Habitat, Canvas Laugh Club. So I would like to
Right.
definitely perform in all the stand-up comic clubs. I would, because I have
Yeah.
performed very less. I mean, I have performed sometimes, but
Huh.
since I'm a ventriloquist and a puppeteer also, my puppetry also takes time. So like it is
Right.
difficult to. But definitely, I would
Like,
like to give it a thought.
yeah, and like maybe just start a separate YouTube channel where you're just doing stand-up comedy. It's separate from your training and your teaching, and keep that
Correct.
stand-up, which is just जैसे हम लोग रखते हैं अपने channels, where it's just stand-up comedy videos one after another, and just put them out and like do them in like chota out. I would love to see those videos because
Yes, yes,
already like
definitely.
you're currently the number one ventriloquist and puppeteer in the country. Yeah, and it's the most simple connection that I can make as a stand-up comedian, because I'd like to sit and watch. Yeah, even he agrees. So that's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, yeah. I'm actually, I should talk a lot. Yeah, you should talk to me, not to him, because I'm the real star of the show.
Okay, one last thing is, I want to talk to you about Tokyo, and I want to talk to you about Prague. Could you just give a little more insight about these things you went and you represented India at these two
Yeah.
places and the years and
So
like,
in Tokyo, it was around 2002, long time back.
huh?
There in Tokyo, there was a Japanese ventriloquist festival. So little bit of I performed in Japanese that time. and
Oh,
of course
okay.
uh, and of course it's a difficult language to learn, but 2 or 3 minutes I perform, because since I'm a ventriloquist also, puppeteer also, so like I combined ventriloquism, puppetry, music. So like our show was for around half an hour to 45 minutes. Also
Hmm.
in Prague, actually Prague, it was a puppetry festival, so we performed with traditional 150 years old puppets. of
Yeah.
pioneer Indian dramatist Vishnu Das Bhave. But just currently, I mean, in 2017, I've been to China, where I performed in Chinese. It was again a puppetry festival where I performed ventriloquism in Chinese. And in Russia in 2018, where
For the
it
World
was
Cup,
in Eka,
were you there
no,
during the
it
World
was,
Cup?
yeah, just after the World Cup, actually, in Ekaterinburg.
Okay. Uh-huh. And
So,
how tough is it to adapt your act like this? Because language, हमारा wordplay भी तो बहुत होता है कि if you are doing a punchline,
बहुत,
like a
बहुत.
lot of time I do Hindi English because some lines are just funnier in Hindi and some lines are just
Hindi,
funnier in English. So
yes.
like how do you like break that knack into Russian or Chinese or like how do you because
See, I think
it's not first language.
yeah, but I took the help of a translator, of course.
But
But
that translator versus a comedic mind is very different.
that is true. But actually, I just translated, and I think we comedians have a knack of delivering the lines. That is what I can say. So
Yeah.
we when we deliver a particular line in that particular style, and I ask the translator that whether you are able to laugh or whether people will be at least able to smile. He said yes, it's fantastic. So
Huh.
I rehearsed the entire script with that narrator or the translator,
Right.
sorry, and I think then that worked actually. And another advantage I would like to say in China and Russia is that they have never seen a live ventriloquist
Oh, really?
because puppetry is more there in China and Russia. The puppetry is more popular.
Yeah, because Chinese puppets are the actual Katputli
the
hoti hai,
string
huh?
puppets, yeah, there are
Yeah,
rod puppets or glove puppets.
the
So
shadow
they have never
puppetry.
seen
Yeah,
shadow puppetry also. So they have never seen a live ventriloquist. Now ventriloquism is more popular in America and England and other part
right.
of Europe. So like
Huh.
they know about ventriloquism, but they have not seen a live. So that itself was a very because a person speaking live at the same time they have never seen. Like so, it was a fun to
Exactly.
do.
Nice. Okay, so one last time we're going to go and like bring this up again. So if you could go back to the screen share, guys, the link is right at the bottom. You guys can click the link and you guys can subscribe to Satyajit's live session that's happening tomorrow at 6 p.m. There's another one that is already recorded at 12, and you can go watch that. And all you have to do is click on this link right here in the description, right underneath this video, and go to talk to the hand. This is the first thing you'll see, and you can just subscribe right there at the bottom on the right. Just subscribe, and you can just play. You can start watching it tomorrow. 6 p.m. is the next live that Satyajit is going to be conducting. And what is it going to be tomorrow? Like, what are you going to be talking about tomorrow, Satyajit?
Well, so today's session,
It
Hmm.
was about say hello to ventriloquism. I explained to them, what is ventriloquism, the history of the art, and
Yeah.
the intricacies of how the art started. Just the introduction about the art of ventriloquism. Tomorrow you can continue. I don't know what we are going to do tomorrow.
well, tomorrow actually, I'm going to teach them the basics of ventriloquism, not
Right.
basics of ventriloquism, but the basics of clear speech. You know,
Hmm.
because a ventriloquist needs to be an actor. You know, so
Exactly.
our speech has to be clear because for ventriloquism you have to speak without moving your lips. So your
Yeah.
lips, your tongue should move freely. So there are certain exercises. I think any actor would also love to
Yeah.
learn those exercises. So
Even
ventriloquism
as a
is
comedian, yeah,
as
even
a
as a
comedian,
comedian,
yeah.
because what you just did, like literally, you guys, what you just saw with the puppet and Satyajit, it's basically he built it up like just in comedic sense, just to analyze a joke right now, just to actually, since we're talking about a learning app, he literally set up something for us. Okay, the puppet is going to take over, the puppet is going to say everything, the puppet is going to do it, and the puppet just goes, अच्छा सतीश तू बाकी को बता मुझे नहीं पता. So there it's the simplest flip that you can do, and just reverse analyzing a joke. So it's never fun to analyze a joke, but this is what it is. So
But
you
it
have
was
to
very
understand.
spontaneous.
Yeah. So and
I
these are
never
things that
thought.
becomes, yeah, it becomes inbuilt in us, and I can't help it because I'm a comedian. So when I watch another comedian do something, I'm like, okay, अच्छा इसने ये किया, he did this, he did this, he did. I'm basically
Actually,
creating beats. Huh.
Yes, thank you so much.
he's giving me credit. Why are you taking my credit here, sir?
So, okay, guys. So, all you have to do is you can register for the app. You can watch Satyajit's sessions. You can watch so many others like Vishwanathan Anand. There's, oh my God, these are like idols that I've grown up with. And I'm going to be
Yes.
watching Satyajit's sessions. You can get a 7-day free trial on the Graphy app. And all you have to do is register with the link at the bottom. And it's 7 days. You can get it for free. And after that, well, you're going to want to continue, honestly. Me, on the other hand, I'm going to try and get Graphy to give me a full annual subscription for free because that's the
Oh,
advantage you get. Yeah.
I also want that. I also want that. Hey.
Boom. So we need 2 annual subscriptions free from Graphy. And thank you so much, Satyajit. Thank you so much for sharing this entire session with me. I'm so glad I got to talk to you
No, no,
because
no.
this is just
I'm also inspired by all the stand-up comics. I mean, I think the
I,
stand-up comedy has increased so much in India. I'm really,
yeah.
really happy that stand-up comedy is increasing, and I think more and more people would love to learn this particular art of
Yes,
ventriloquism.
yes, they do. They would love to. And thank you so much for actually starting it out and like really working through it because it's not easy. Like right now, everybody thinks, कि हाँ, अभी सब लोग, but there's a lot of years and years of work that goes
Of
into
course,
this.
it
And
takes time. As a
yeah,
stand-up comic, also So like
yeah.
ventriloquism is more offbeat. Like it's very
Oh,
difficult.
it's just so incredible that it's just the amount of it's not just performing and like the constant practice. It's just the mental fortitude to stick to this job. And I think the fact that you get to teach this, and I'm hoping that you get to talk about this aspect of it, which is this is going to be the one of the hardest parts about being an onstage performer.
Yes,
And
of
I'm
course, of
assuming
course.
that like this is what you will get to talk to somebody like Satyajit about. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us, and this has been fantastic. And thank you so much, Satyajit, and thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Can we
Thank
have
you,
a sign off?
Adir.
Can we have a sign off from? Yeah,
Yeah. So, friends, thank you so much. It was great pleasure interacting with you. Join me on Graphy App because Satyajit is going to teach ventriloquism without the mask. Yeah.
nice.
You will definitely be a ventriloquist when you teach, when you learn the lessons on ventriloquism.